Familiar foes collide for the 5A Division II State Championship. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks presented by All-Star Inflatables, your guide to the Texas High School Football State Championship games. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're previewing the 5A Division II State title game. 11 a.m. Saturday at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. It's the Class 5A Division II State title game between the Aledo Bearcats and the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes. What are the keys to this matchup? Well, key number one, the trenches. We're going to talk a lot about superstars in this preview, but plain and simple, if you look back on last year's state title game between these two squads, the reason that Aledo won the state championship was not because of their superstars. It was because they absolutely clobbered Fort Bend Marshall in the trenches. It was a no contest up front. Now, I think Fort Bend Marshall's better up front. I think that they have improved, and I'm not quite sure Aledo is as good as they were last year up front. But that was a huge gap last year. How much has that gap shrunk? Key number two, the speed advantage. Fort Bend Marshall is going to have the speed advantage in this game because Fort Bend Marshall has the speed advantage in every game. This is a team absolutely chock full of burners. Devon Chan is, I mean, what do you say about him at this point? He is an unbelievable playmaker who is one of the fastest and savviest players on the field. Not to mention quarterback Malik Hornsby. Not to mention wide receiver Brandon Tryon. This team is a track team. They can run better than anybody, including Aledo. So, can Aledo mitigate that speed advantage, or will Marshall run wild? And key number three, what's different? So this is a rematch of last year's 5A Division II State Championship game, a game that Aledo won pretty handily. And if you look at the top line, a lot of the principal characters in these games are pretty much the same. Devon Chan and Malik Hornsby are back for Fort Bend Marshall. On the Aledo sideline, they've still got Jace McClellan. They've still got Jake Bishop. They've still got JoJo Earl. So what's different? What has changed? Well, maybe Aledo's not as dominant as they were. Maybe Jace McClellan is banged up. Maybe Marshall is a little bit more comfortable on the big stage. But remember, Aledo dominated this game last year. So something significant will need to have changed if the result is going to change. So, what's different? Who am I picking? I'm going with Aledo. I think the Bearcats bring home their record 9th state championship on the strength of, ta-da, their trench play. I think offensive line and defensive line play is going to be the key here for Aledo, opening up holes for Jake Bishop, who's really stepped up as a quarterback this year, as well as running back Jace McClellan and wide receiver JoJo Earl. I think this game's a lot closer, though, and I think that Fort Bend Marshall's defense is peaking at the right time, and it certainly would not be a surprise if Marshall won this game. But last year was such a dominant win for Aledo that it feels like something significant will need to have changed for the result to be different. I think this game's pretty close. I think this game's actually within one score, but I think Aledo brings home a record 9th state championship. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2019 Texas High School Football State Championship games at TexasFootball.com/state. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the 5A Division II State title game. We'll see you.